Okay, so at this point, you full-fledged rapping.
Wait, that was December, so this from December to May, I'm 6 months in now. So I done did a Big Yo show and 2 contests.
How did you go with Big Yo?
I hit her up on Facebook.
And she just...
Yep, show me love. I went there, I told this lady.
Shout out Big Yo, man.
Yep, they showed me so much love. They was giving me money. My first performance, I made like $35 because Big Yo had like the whole floor open. I was on the stage. I'm looking like, why
I ain't
the floor
gonna lie,
open?
you made something. That's
right.
cool.
I was like, why the floor open? So I walked down there. People's handing me money. I'm like, what? Shit, I got a part of my song where I'm like, saying something about money. I dropped the money. You know what I'm saying? But then people still giving me money. Man, I pick up my money. I'm like, oh man, I ain't made 35, like 36, it was like $36. I'm like, I made like $36. I'm like, man, that shit crazy. Man, I gotta pay my first show. And I like, what? So the lady in the dressing room, when she asked me for my Juicy Couture necklace, and I told her like, oh, it's a gift, you know, for me to perform it for my first show. She said, well, you know what? I just bought this today. This must be for you. She pulled out a bottle of Juicy Couture perfume and gave it to me. I was like, what?
Damn.
Put it on right before I walked on stage. That's how I know. I said, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be doing this.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And then after I got in the contest, and then, like, I'm going to these contests. Mind you, I had Juicy recorded. I had Getting This Money recorded.
I was just gonna say, when did you put out your first project? Go ahead.
So I had put Juicy out November 23rd, 2017 on Reverb Nation. Okay. And I went #1. And I was #1 for 8 months straight on the Texas charts and Houston charts. 8 months. I got, man, screenshots. I was #1 for 8 months straight.
Okay, so at that time, you just started rapping, you full-fledged, you did your first show, had just got paid.
Yeah, so
what was the feeling like?
I felt, well, the thing is, it was like, since I started, it's always been like some bittersweet moments, challenging, because that same night before I went on stage, me and my ex-husband got into it. Okay. And then after we got off stage, he was like, it's Uber outside, and you know, he was ready to go. And I had just had the same guy that prints on all my clothing. He had just walked through the door with his girl. And they had came to see me. And I was like, oh, I just got off stage. He's like, oh, well, let's, stay in this, chill. I'll take y'all back home. Y'all ain't got to worry about it. He was like, nah, the Uber outside. Just being a jerk. So, it was, even though I had a great performance, it was sweet moment. I knew that at the same time, I was like, okay, my business is gonna grow, but my marriage is gonna die.
It was a bittersweet
moment.
And
I knew, and I knew from, like, I would watch like a lot of videos. Like, I watch a lot of videos still to this day, motivational videos. I watch Eric Thomas a lot, the hip hop preacher. Shout out to Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Bishop T.D. Jakes. And one thing that I knew is that you're gonna have, and you don't fail in some of the things that you pursue in life. And then I decided at that moment that if I was gonna fail, out of my company and my marriage, I was willing to lose my marriage because my company was what I was building for my kids. Mm. And none of my children was with my husband. Yeah. So it was nothing that he couldn't pass my company down to them. Yeah. And yeah.
One day, I ain't gonna lie, one day he might up and want to scratch, and you done gave all your shit up. Like, I can do that. Like,
me and him cool now, as far as on speaking terms. Like, we have love for each other. He support. Is my nose ring hanging out? Mm-mm. Okay. He support what I have going on. I support what he does. He no longer does music, but I would encourage him to one day pursue it again, because he is a great He's a great artist. I learned from him. Honestly, I was his hype girl, and I was in the studio with him when we first got together. When we got back, he was actually my first boyfriend at the age of 8 at A.B. Anderson. We dated and all the way up until 8th grade. He was at Aldine. We ran track together. He in 9th grade he went to Atlanta, and with his family, which is where he's at now, since we split. And we were separated for 12 years.
12?
Yeah. So in that time, I had children. He didn't have any children. He still does not have children. And when I was with my children's dad, I was in the street relationship.
Yeah.
That was some gangster. Now that's when my life changed when I met my ex-husband. That's how music came, honestly, because back then, when my brother tried to introduce me into music in high school, I was in this group, my senior year, Underdog Gangsters. Shout out to Trey and D. They in Navasota. They was from Navasota. Well, they from Acres Homes, but they live out there somewhere now, in Beaumont. But I would be in the studio with them. My brother was like, "Come down here and write with me." Mind you, I started in high school with my god brother. We're doing the Switch House shit, and I love Mike Jones, baby. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing about Mike Jones, baby. What? I had headphones on my stomach when I was pregnant in high school. I was like, she gonna say Mike Jones first, and she go like,
No shit.
Baby, I was a Mike Jones fan because the dude that I was talking to with the grill, and he loved Mike Jones. He put me on Switch. I'm talking about, after that, we was going to Selective Sounds. What's that, on Antoine? And all of Mike Jones and Magno, projects would be in there. And I would listen to a little bit of Slim Thug. Like, I really love Trey the Truth, though. Like, I just loved his voice when I was growing up. I was like, man, like, I just loved anything Trey the Truth did. I just loved it. I just loved his music. But I fucked with Mike Jones so hard, like, especially like, when they had, like, what's that, Straight to the Room. Remember Straight to the Room?
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, hell yeah.
And you still.
I ain't gonna lie, I hate it when I ain't gonna say I hate it, but I kind of hate how the music changed and Mike Jones hit mainstream.
Yeah.
Like, I love that motherfucking underground shit. Who? Yeah, shout out to Mike Jones. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I tried to reach out to him to work with him. Like, I do want to work with the people that I really, really admire.
Yeah.
Like, I want to work with The Flip. I want to work with Mike Jones. You know what I'm saying? Because I looked up to them. Youngster, if he's still around, like, I want to work with him. Like,
I can make that happen.
Like, I just want to work with them, I do want to work with Big Pokey too. Like, when I was doing music with my husband, it's in 11 months, I got him to open up a Big Pokey and Trey the Truth, cousin Lil Boss at the Club Bash, and that was the last show he did. I was like, boy, you crazy. In 11 months from the first show, because we was going around Acres Home, we were trying to get in cafes, nobody would let us perform. And then all of a sudden, we decided to get married. I remember our internet got cut off. And then we went to his grandma's house to go check our internet, and we had a fucking email from Afton Booking Agency about a show at Warehouse Live. I was like, what? The first show he did, I got him, I remember I showed up in a blazer. He made $123. What? Can't tell me that I'm not gonna make no money off this, because everything that I do in this, I make money off of it. Like, my first year, I put in like $150. I made $2,300. I won $1,000 contest twice. The first year, because the second year, it was actually in like February when I won the second $1,000. But that first year, I won $1,000 contest, two $500 contests. I won a $250 contest, and then the other contest was like photo shoots and slides and all this
stuff that help you with that you needed to pay for anyway. So
right. Yeah. So, and then after, mind you, once I met January. Now this is the new year, because I made a whole list of all of the shows I did and how much I made off of each show, and I still got that list saved. Because I emailed it to myself. Because I wanted to remind myself
where you came from.
Yes, like, man, your first year, you put in this, you only put in that much. Because everything else, it was content I won. Like, once I started winning, I just kept doing it.
Shit was like paying for itself almost.
Right. And I said, I'm going to start off with these showcases. Because my ex started off doing, like, with booking after booking agency, right? But by this time, I was tired of selling tickets. And actually, I wasn't tired of selling tickets. He decided that he wasn't going to help me sell tickets. And he refused to help me. And I was like, that was so fucked up, because now that I'm doing music and you decide to back out, you decide not to help me. Like, that was the craziest thing to me. I did his graphics, photo shoots, everything. I did everything. And I don't care if you get mad. I'm telling all this shit. But I still don't hold no hard feelings to your motherfucking ass. But your motherfucking ass, I ain't lying on shit. Fuck it. So he just refused to help me. And that is why I go so hard. And that's why I don't look for no friends.
In his business.
Nope. And I don't look for relationships to last because I'm like, that's why when shit fuck up with dudes, I'm like, nigga, my husband walked away from me and my children and did not help us and left me in the hole. And I had to overcome all of that shit and still do music because he told me that he was like, the only reason you ever do music is because I pay the bills. Because I was a stay-at-home mom. My son, I was homeschooling my kids. My son was going to also in Head Start. Like, he started at 3. So he was going to Head Start, like, some days the whole day, some days half a day. Some days some shit happened and can't nobody come on, it was like the most service center at his home. So, like, and my whole house looked like a classroom. Like, everything was a classroom, and then I would make my music in the garage.
Yeah.
Like, I had my whole garage set up for me. And I had all my artwork, and I would be painting out there and shit, drawing. So, I created, like, the atmosphere. So, when
you created an atmosphere to be creative.
Yeah. So, when, and then, like, I'm very, very, very spiritual. Like, I got, like, like I said, I have different personalities, that I know how to separate. You know what I'm saying? I know how to deal with each dynamic. That's why a lot of people might see I Reign TDG 3D. I Reign TDG 5D on my Instagram, and I say sometimes I reign and y'all gonna feel my reign. Is because I know that I am a triple dynamic being, but I'm in the 5th dimension, which some people may not understand because they live in the 3-dimensional world.
Yeah, I get
and so my mindset is a lot different
than most people.
Yeah, and I analyze everything. Everybody, every emotion.
Because everything means something.
Yeah, like I'm a genius. Yeah. I'm a genius, and I know that, and that's why I'm able to. I create my music in a very. That's why I don't worry about nothing else that's going on. It's all about exactly what I'm on a mission that I didn't put myself on. I know that God put me on this mission because every time I was put on the route to do music, I ran away from it. God stripped me of everything
until you realize this what you.
Yes, like I was literally like I would be when I wrote Juicy. I remember like waking up in the garage like it's hot as fuck in here. I done passed out on the sofa in the garage. Didn't even know I was asleep. Just trying to write my first song. Because this producer, shout out to Rude Boy, which really kind of drew a wedge between me and my husband because when I met Rude Boy, we were on the side of the street. And somehow, some way, he heard that my husband was a rapper. He wanted to hear the music. He was a producer. He said, I got a studio around the corner. I need to come check out my studio. My ex like, hell no. But when we do the song, we rapping the song, and he was like, man, I love her delivery. Like, man, I want her. Like, I want your lyrics, but I want her to say them. Like, I'm telling you, that's where the money's at. And he was like, and I knew off the real, like, I'm like, I ain't about to rap his lyrics. And then I thought about it, like, why not? I'm like, that particular song that we was rapping, I'm like, well, I kind of helped out in this song. Like, I'm like, he do need to let me at this song. And I'm like, no, this ain't gonna be right. I want to write my own song. And so I would ask him, like, to help me. He wouldn't even help me, man. He wouldn't even help me. Okay. I would like, how would you start this song off? How would you come in on this? He'd be like, let me hit it. Let me take the beat to work and I'll let you know. I'd be like, what? Mm-hmm. Never mind. And then like 10 minutes later, I came up with a fire ass way. And it was so crazy because by him doing that shit to me, I just kept like, just coming up with ways to just write, like finesse and shit.
It gave you the motivation you needed.
Yeah, because I'm like, man, I gotta learn how to like really finesse this shit. Like, cause my whole thing is I don't want to be whack, period. I ain't never been whacking nothing I did. Sports, drawing, dancing, None of that. I ain't never been wet. So I'm like, if I'm gonna do this shit gotta be right. Like I gotta be with the top. Like if I'm gonna be a rapper, I'm gonna be a megastar. I ain't settle for less. Cause Will Smith say, ain't no plan B. You have a plan A, why have a plan B? It's only a distraction for plan A.